we're gonna get started. Is everyone excited?
Yeah.
Can I get a yippee-ki-yay?
No.
Yippee-ki-yay! Oh.
Motherfucker.
Fucking go, Pickle. We start in an idyllic plains landscape, beautiful grass flowing in the wind, dancing, swaying back and forth. A dirt trodden path leads down a hill, and we see trees on either sides of the path, and we kind of hone in on a large boulder just to the side of the road, and we hear a noise that begins to get louder, kind of coming from the left side of us, off camera. We hear a and it just like a smack on of flesh on a rock, and a satyr slumps to the ground, having been struck by something. Aristides, could you describe your character a little bit for me?
Aristides is a bastard son of Dionysus, whose mother was a fauness. So he's a satyr. His the coat on his legs is like a white with not reminiscent of cow spots, but they're like black spots in his fur. He's got a little short bobtail, and he has a goodly set of horns on him, and he's definitely lived a very pampered existence. He's not particularly athletic. he's got some soft hands. He is fond of being intoxicated, and usually in some sort of entanglement as frequently as he can be. So he's definitely not particularly durable, nor one to be able to throw down in a fight.
Word.
Lovely. He slumps to the ground. You slump to the ground as we hear the heavy footfalls of another creature and the movement of trees further in the wood. You hear a... And as one tree kind of is shoved to the side and cracked and falls to the side, a minotaur of great stature comes waltzing out. If I knew where the fucking photo was. He steps out of the wood, scratched, scarred, and has definitely seen many years of battle, holding a whalebone hammer over one shoulder. And as you look up at him from your kind of knocked position, you notice this black, inky darkness kind of pooling and spilling out of his eyes and mouth, and little speckles of light seem to kind of reflect from the sun off of it and into your eye. And he steps forward towards you and just and looks at you. What do you do, Aristides?
Do I have any prospect of playing for time here, or I just have to deal with what's in front of me?
You do have some compatriots that you do know to be somewhat nearby. Okay. So playing for time is definitely a strategy that could be employed.
I'm going to roll for dissonant whispers to assail my target verbally.
That sounds lovely. Give me that good roll. He kind of steps forward at you as you begin to stand, and deliver the emotional blow.
We're casting this at level 1, correct?
Yes, it's a 13. So he does save.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to move away from you, but it does take half damage. So if you'll roll the damage for it.
10 psychic damage.
Okay, so they take half damage, so we'll take 5. Yeah, so what do you say with your dissonant whispers in order to deal this emotional mental blow?
Listen, you inbred piece of trash. You've been in that maze your daddy built you far too long. Okay, those of us out here on the outside, we haven't been getting delivered hot couples from Crete every year to feed us and make us strong. And this is all you have to offer? That hammer? Honey, it's too large. Everybody's gonna know you're compensating for something.
The look, the up down.
I don't know what to tell you. Simply, you've been at Daddy's labyrinthine palace for too long, and that weird girl with the string, she doesn't count as socialization, darling. You need to go and get yourself more presentable. I can't continue this exchange any longer. I can't work in these conditions.
You kind of look for the usual signs of someone who's been read to filth, and it doesn't seem like it's grasped onto this minotaur quite like it would a creature that maybe isn't inflicted, or maybe minotaurs just inherently don't have that level of cognitive, like you're not 100%
You use too many big words.
It seems like it's just not fully resonated, but the magical power that you've thrown behind it still seems to deal a bit of a blow, and the minotaur steps back for a second, kind of pushing off a light headache, and then starts to walk towards you. When it throws its mouth back and forth, you see that dripping kind of starry inkness fly to the grass, and it begins to step forward to you. And as it raises its hammer up at you, we flash back to a different time, a different place. We flash back to the Egyptian district in the High Realm. The High Realm being the place where all gods and demigods kind of preside beyond the mortal realm, and have kind of created their own immortal realm known as the High Realm. And the High Realm was split into many different districts, representing different cultures and different religions and pantheons and many different things that can and do exist. And the gods like to preside here. It's like their own little society. And we dip down into a river very reminiscent of the Nile River, that seems to kind of flow onward forever towards an ever-setting sun that creates this obelisk of light in the center of this district. And up above is one of the most starry nights that has ever graced the eyes of living creatures. And we ride along the reflective water, and we begin to hear the sounds of revelry and music, and we pull to the right, and we pass different open air fruit markets and people selling gorgeous woven rugs and spices, and the smell of fresh fish and meats grilling. And we get closer and closer to the sound of dancing and life happening, and we pull in through an open porthole window into a building that is ornately decorated with many different creatures of humanoid animal form, different creatures of many different pantheons and mythos and things like that. It's not solely that of Egyptian folk. And we settle particularly on a pair of hooves, kind of stumbling backwards just a bit on stone floor, a flickering brown and black freckled white tail flitting back and forth, and a stunning smile, a cunning stare. Aristides is currently attempting to woo a drunken Sobek, Sobek being the Egyptian god of the Nile. He is a crocodile humanoid man, and seems to be completely enthralled with whatever him and Aristides are talking about. And he says, "So I see you know how to play a few instruments."
Several. I mean, there are the few that I have mastery of. I can basically play anything after I've examined it once, Very talented, I know. It is a burden, but...
Well, let me make you a deal. How about if you can play one of those instruments, let's say I pick any instrument that's currently being played in here, and then you can show me how well you can play any instrument later tonight.
Of course. Please, make your selection.
So Sobek kind of gives you like an up and down, and is give me an insight check.
13.
Okay, so you definitely get the sense that he is unsure about you, but at the same time has this like, I want to know what is going on with this guy. I want to figure this guy out. So he's very curious. You're getting a very curious vibe from him. And he kind of turns, and you hear the jingle of his different golden jewelry that's kind of draped all over his body, kind of clack against the counter next to you. And across from you guys are sitting at the end of this clay stone bath that runs the length of this room, and there are people all around the side sitting at tables, sitting up on like windowsills and smoking, and then in the back of the room is this like velvet red curtain that goes into further into this home, and you see different like lily pads and different aquatic plants kind of growing on the top of this long bath, and also sitting on this long bath is floating food trays that have different delicacies kind of floating around to everybody, as well as like different wine containers and things like that. You see kind of off in the corner, there's also this like raised platform that's been made into a stage for this evening, and different people are playing different kinds of instruments, and he points to somebody that is playing this string-like instrument, probably very similar to a lot of like lute or lyre deal, like kind of in that construction. I don't know a ton about ancient Egyptian instruments, sue me. So he makes his choice. Sobek makes his choice and says, will that one do, or would that be too difficult for you?
And of course, Aristides immediately eyeballs and is like, "Oh yeah, no, that's fine. String instrument, perfect. Plays bouzouki. This is like basically the same thing." So he's like, "All right," kind of gets out of the bath and towels off a bit and basically goes over to one of the performing musicians and is like, "Pal, like musician's code, I am trying to get laid. That very attractive lizard man over there needs me to show off. You wouldn't mind if I borrowed this. There'd be some excellent wine in it for you, my friend.
You're talking to a humanoid crane. It's a crane-headed just humanoid, and they kind of look at you and go, "Good luck." And he just like hands it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So Aristides, it's kind of like a mandolin almost, musical instrument. So Aristides just, sort of gets up there and begins to sort of do a bit of more chill playing that escalates into a bit more of an obvious shred to impress Sobek, which I'm guessing
before you start, because there's still like you come up and borrow this instrument, and there's still music playing, and you come back and are kind of tuning and like getting it ready, and Sobek says, "Oh, allow me." And he shouts a name, says a name, and the music stops, and he says, "Just a moment, our friend's gonna be performing for us." And then everybody in the room turns and looks at you. And you do notice, actually, give me a perception check really quick. Give me a perception check at disadvantage because you are most likely very drunk.
Oh, for sure. Perception.
So it'd be lower disadvantage. Okay, yeah. So you still see, you notice in the back corner, and you've nearly forgotten that they were there with you tonight. You notice a cloaked figure with white kind of short cut hair, and this kind of white and black, like leather-ish armor that they don't tend to take off in social settings, who seems to also be maybe schmoozing up some other patron of this party. And they have your friend, who you know as Komori, has now turned to watch you either fail miserably or probably most likely succeed, as you always do when you perform for groups. So give me a performance check. And you know what? Since you remembered that Kumori is here, I'm going to give you advantage because you get bolstered by your friend's presence.
Seeing my buddy.
Yeah.
Because I'm motherfucking Naruto. I'm like, look, it's my friend in the audience. They believe in me. Let's go.
Maury's like,
friendship.
sheesh.
Beautiful. Oh my god. Yeah. You
27.
absolutely knocked the socks off. The roof of this place never even existed in preparation of you coming to perform. You have blown the roof off the place. Everyone is loving the music. They're getting more drunk while you're singing it, so it gets even better as it goes. You give a beautiful mandolin like just rip right at the end. It's very technical moves, and you finish with the song with this flourish of the finger and such, and Sobek stands up and just gives the slow clap, and this long crocodile smile is just beaming up at you. Yeah, and then we'll cut back. So this is right after your massive success. We cut back to a Minotaur stepping closer and closer to you, and you think, wish I was performing that song right now. Wish I was back there. As this Minotaur raises its whalebone hammer to smash down on your small, tiny frame. You see sudden movement to your right, and out of the corner of your eye, a white flash happens. Kumori, would you mind giving me a quick attack roll with your talons, if you don't mind? So that won't hit, but it's enough to distract him. So
Okay.
you see a flash of white light to your right, Aristides, and a figure with a nearly blank white mask flashes by in between you and the Minotaur, trying to slash at its stomach, mostly missing, but nicking it just enough on the fur to draw its notice from you. It steps back in surprise and looks to the right, and we see Kumori. Kumori, could you describe your character a little bit for me?
Sure. So my character, Kumari, is let me remember. I need to, hold on. Pull up my notes and also turn this music down a little bit because my brain was overstimulated. There we go. I can think again. What
I'm kind of there right now, too.
Okay, sorry.
You're fine.
It's relatable.
Yeah, it's like I want to, but I cannot yet. I need a moment. Anyway. So my character, Kumari, is wearing white regalia, got a nice like cloak, a poof of like fur, and the like facial features and hair similar to the photo seen in front of you.
Yeah, the hair is kind of what we're looking at in the photo.
Yeah.
It's like, how tall is Kumori? Kumori's like pretty tall, right?
6 feet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Pretty tall. That's a fine figure, you know.
Yeah, very like
Slightly intimidating, but like a little more on the like slender side. Yeah.
Yeah. Very like, and it's like leather and cloth kind of outfit. Okay. Yeah.
And then with
and
the
then
white mask and red,
right.
kind of like
so,
streaks. Yeah.
Yeah. So masked figure, and you're holding these curved, essentially Wolverine talons. But they're a little more curved than that, but they look like bird talons.
Same idea,
So you kind of you get the attention of this Minotaur, and it looks it kind of turns its attention towards you. Do you guys have anything to say to each other during that little moment?
Wait, what is the name that I decided to... Was it Ted?
It's Ted.
It's Ted.
It's
Ted.
I think Mel is probably going to end up calling me Teddy, but you'll be Ted.
Sorry, that's adorable.
It's too good.
So Kumari's gonna just like glance over at Ted and be like, Ted, why? How did you piss off this guy? Where did he even come from? Come on.
I don't know. I don't know if my uncle sent him or what. Like, listen, we have a fucked up family. I'm just saying. But I don't know why he's here. We only saw each other like at a few real extended family reunions on Olympus, and that shit's always weird. I don't know why he's here.
You hear a and he starts running towards Kumori. Kumori, you turn to face him, and we flash back to a different time. We open on a mountain-rimmed valley, deep in a Japanese forest. Different locally Japanese trees. I don't know that much about Japanese botany. Fuck off. And there's a bunch of different breeds of Japanese tree, and a very thick forest that seems to grow very dense around a small village nearby. and we fly down with a bird's eye view, flying through the forest, and we stop on a tree and fly up to this tree and see a very small, but not hobbit-like, but human-sized round green door with a little window affixed to it. We fly in to this cabin, and this is what we see here. Just kind of a very homely, comfortable, warmly lit, lots of herbs and different types of tea. Beautiful. This picture doesn't represent it well, but beautiful Japanese woodwork tables and chairs. And we look from inside the cabin outward, and we see dusk kind of settling on the forest, and the world is kind of coming to life slowly. We see the orange kind of reflecting off of these almost kaleidoscope-like windows, the ones I'm talking about, that are kind of split, and mist is kind of settling and beginning to dissipate, and then we hear outside in the distance the cry of some unknown beast. It's this terrifying, blood-chilling, almost melancholy and lonely cry, and we hear the flapping of large wings, and a shadow shows upon the window and flashes by. Leaves rustle and crack at the door, and the door creaks open slowly, the shadow stretching along the floor towards us. And as we look up, we see the very calm and collected and lean, tall figure of Kumori step in to their home. We then very quickly hear the sound of, as to our left there is a snoring Sobek, laid very much not clothed, covered just barely by blanket, laying next to a satyr figure, also asleep on the couch. Kumori, what would you like to do in your home?
I look around, take in the scene before me. And I kind of like whisper, like when you're like you're kind of angry, but like it's like a whisper, like just like Dad.
Dad.
Oh, boy, hi.
Well, when I said you're always welcome, I did not mean to bring someone to my house and have relations on the couch. What the hell?
I'm sorry. I know that I'm supposed to be getting a place since I left the island and the temple. It's just taking me a little while longer than anticipated. And Sobek didn't really want to go back to his place, but I'm sorry. I won't do it next time. You're the best. Take a 5 more minutes, please.
Here's Sobek going. What is going on? Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry, who is this? And he kind of nervously pulls the blanket up.
This is my friend Mori. Hi, Mori. Mori, Sobek, Mori.
It's lovely to meet you. And he just holds his little crocodile hand out.
And I'm just kind of like, hi, and like roll my eyes, not shaking his hand, and say, fine, 5 more minutes, and start to walk away.
Yeah. Where are you headed? Are you going to your room upstairs? Probably.
Yeah, upstairs. Yeah.
As you're getting up the stairs, you kind of hear Aristides and Sobek talking, and Sobek turns to Aristides and is like, "Is this not your house? I thought we were at your house."
I mean, I'm staying here, so in a sense, it's my place.
Listen, everybody's at different places in their life. I have no problem with that. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page, is all.
Right. I may have been slightly intoxicated yesterday evening. It might have slipped, but no, this is not my place. Technically, I'm in the market. If you know someone, let me know.
Yeah, listen, I know so many people. I'll get back to you on that. What's the over under on the chances of me getting to take a shower here, or should I just like get on the old dusty trail, or am I like, what's the protocol here?
I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling that they're going to want to take a little sleep. But there is an absolutely lovely hypocaust bath, just one of the newfangled Roman-like ones just down the way if you wanted to go check it out.
He's like, oh yeah, that I know the one they just opened. It's called Suds Galore or something like that. Yeah, I'll head over there. I do want to say, this was a lovely night. I'd love to see you again sometime. But no pressure. I'm not trying to. And he kind of gets like blushy, like his green tint turns a little pink, and he's just like. I'm gonna get dressed and he's like talking and like stuttering and like as he's putting on clothes and like walking out the door.
Aww. So Aristides, does the whole, let's Sobek make his departure, and then immediately is up from the couch and like, and what have we got around the house for snacks?
Make an investigation check for me, please.
Just raid my kitchen, why don't you?
I mean, you went to bed. That's your loss. I'm hungry. I worked up an appetite.
Ooh, gotta restore those electrolytes.
Ooh, that's a good roll.
Was that a nat 20? Oh, it was a 19.
19. It was very close. It was very close.
Was
Nat 20.
Focus on the one. Okay.
Yeah. So close though.
Oh shit, I just found...
You do find so it seems like Kumori, correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you hear anything you don't like, stop me, okay? But from what I understand, you, as you've gotten to know Kumori over the last few, we're gonna say god years every time I say time for you guys, because it's really weird and relative for humans, but for you guys it feels like years, but for them it's like eons. So for the last few god years that you've known Kumori, they like don't eat that much, or at least you haven't seen them eat that much. So they're getting food from somewhere. They have to be eating, but you don't know where. So their kitchen is very like, it's like superficial kinds of food. Like you find and like god food doesn't really get old. But you find like tea biscuits and like, maybe like some hot chocolate that you could make. And like, it's all like comfort snacks, but there's no like good morning hangover food, unfortunately. But what you do find, because of the roll you made, that in it, like right in the center of the fridge, they're in like a wrapped kind of container that doesn't look like, because just to be clear, Kumori actually lives in the human realm, and lives on the outside of the what we're going to refer to as the Japanese gate. Which is just the gate that leads to Japan. And Kumori lives right outside of that gate and essentially is kind of the guard of that gate, we'll say. So you see a container in the fridge that is absolutely not of this area. So like most of the food containers that you'd find are like a bento box or something along those lines. This one is a very like traditionally Greek, like wrapped maybe like a Euro sandwich or something along those lines. And there's a note stuck to it with a letter that has the stamp of Hermes. And it's the stamp of Hermes with also like a half bit of the Tenzin library. So it's like this combo wax seal on a letter. And the letter is there with a sandwich that seems to have been there put specifically for you after knowing you would probably be hungover.
Uncle H, my man.
While you're doing that, while you're snacking and you're ready to read your letter, Kumori, what's going on upstairs? What do you've just gotten back from a long night. You were out with Aristides, and then you kind of had your own stuff going on for a lot of the night. So most of your rest happens in this early morning hours. So
yeah. So I full on strut up like into my room, throw off my cloak, kick off my boots, set my mask on its little, it's got a little spot that it sits on, you know.
Adorable.
And and I flop face first onto my bed.
Yeah, for sure. Is your bed like do you have like a traditionally like Japanese like sliding door kind of like flat floor sort of bed, or is it more of like a woodsman, like Japanese woodsman style, where it's like a little higher up and like maybe down feathers from like birds and such? Like what's the vibe?
I think that you would think on the first glance that Komori would have like the like traditional bed, but you know, they like a little comfort, you know, a little floof. So it's definitely the like more, you know, like luxurious kind of bed. So
gotcha. So yeah, you plop down and a stray feather kind of flies out and lands on the ground. Cool. Yeah. So Aristides, this letter, you've kind of read over it, skimmed it while eating your wrap, and it's long story short, blah blah.
I knock on Komori's door. Mori?
And we'll cut there. We have like Mori has sat down and like stretched out, like arms behind and like finally closing their eyes, and then you hear a knock on the door and just Mori, and then Mori opens their eyes, and then we cut back. And we're back to the Minotaur and the fight, and everything's going on, and this is dangerous, and the Minotaur's and it's spilling ink out of their face. What's happening? And Mori, the Minotaur, now braces its hooves on the ground and lowers its head towards you and starts to and kind of stamps its hooves and begins to charge at you. Nithir, would you mind giving me an attack roll, please?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'm going to use my dice because I like that. I'm an analog girly, you know. What am I attacking with? Does it matter?
I don't know. I mean, probably your giant ass sword, but if you have something else, then go for it.
No, that's fair. 12 plus 4, 16.
16 hits. This Minotaur is full speed sprinting at Kumori, head down, ready to gore Kumori. How would you intercede here?
I'd be like, she's like putting on her helmet because she's like run after them to some degree from wherever
Yeah,
they
like
previously
running through
were.
the forest.
It's like
Yeah, yeah.
chasing after, not quite as fast as Kumori, and it's like shove. Like finally, he's like, okay, I see them. Shoves on her helmet, and as she's doing so, is like, hey, why don't you pick on someone your own size? And like, and just goes in and swings.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you swing down, you actually manage to catch a horn as you do a downward swing, and it both knocks the bull to the side of Kumori. You essentially like step in front of Kumori and do a downward swing right as the horn was getting to them. It pushes with momentum the Minotaur to the right of Kumori, and you stand there with a Minotaur horn now laying on the ground. And we
new
pan
horn.
over to this giant blonde Viking of a woman in a horned brass helmet with these giant deer antlers kind of piercing out from it as she lays her sword on her shoulder, and we flash back again. So now as Kumori and Aristides, you guys head towards the library of Tenzin, which is the kind of it's the kind of major library for the High Realm. And Tenzin, the god of scholars, is kind of leads this library. He's a Japanese figure of scholars. And also the service that is provided there is a place for gods, demigods, minor gods to come and receive missions to perform miracles. And you would want to perform these miracles because it allows you to gain more renown or faith among the human population. And the more people you have thinking of you and praying of you, the bigger and stronger you are as a god. So lots of gods employ the library to allow them to help them find different quests and miracles and things that they can perform and hopefully become more powerful gods. Every god has a different reason that they would do so. Not every god completes these quests. But you guys are heading there because Hermes, who is the kind of library clerk, works on the different cases for each god. And Aristides, him being your uncle, he has pressured you over many god years to try more and more to get into doing quests. And, you know, you've maybe gone on one or two, probably haven't gotten along with a lot of the people you ended up going on those with. And, you know, he's just looking out for you. He wants to, you know, give you the renown he thinks that you are working towards or deserve. So he sent a letter asking for you and Kumori to come and receive a quest. And as you guys walk up, you walk into this library. It is this huge library that seems to, the bookshelves seem to stretch endlessly into this kind of blue nightscape with different planets that seem to float in and out of this scape. And there's different bridges that walk between each levels of the library. There's these ladders that seem to stretch, kind of curve almost infinitely up into the space, like a Dr. Seuss, like a Dr. Seuss book illustration. And among all of the denizens of this library, the most prevalent are these small dragons that seem, these little small snake-like kind of Asian culture dragons tend to fly around and seem to help perform the organization and movement of the books in this library. In Tenzin, the few times you have seen him, which you rarely do, he has a few of these dragons always kind of floating around him as well. Normally you don't see him because all you do is hear a disembodied voice from somewhere in the library telling you to be quiet, or telling you to put that book back because you don't deserve it, or things of that degree. And as you guys walk up, just to the side, there is a desk, and there you see your uncle Hermes, and he stands behind the counter. Well, you don't really see him standing there. You hear him kind of rustling around underneath the desk. And there is a bell on the desk, and right next to that bell is a very large Norse woman. We see a very trained stance as we view this woman kind of leaning, almost bored, on the counter. We see battle-hardened muscles and leveled eyes that meet yours. Golden locks and body paint signifying different Norse symbols of power and femininity and strength and defense and love, and it's many different facets of what a warrior can mean and be. And this wingless warrior towers over the messenger of the gods, Hermes, as he pops up from the counter and says, I swear to God, they'll be here anytime. Oh, there you are. Come on, let's go. We got things to do. And Hermes kind of ushers you guys in. Nithir, can you give me a little bit more of the descriptors of your character if you have anything you'd like to add?
Girl, you just did way more descriptors than I even would have thought of. Like, you're like, there's all kinds of face paint and warrior paint for all these different. I wouldn't even think of all that. She is decked out in some like armor, some breastplates and stuff. I like what you said earlier about it being like copper is kind of her color. I think that's like kind of fun. Like yeah, like a bronzery kind of thing instead of like a gold or silver traditional. So yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. And yeah, I mean, she's just a big girl. Like, she's like,
how tall is she again?
Like 6'4". So she's pretty tall.
Taller than that.
Did we?
I think we did. I think she's like 6'5" or 6'6" or
That's
something.
fine.
Some crazy number.
Listen, you get past 6'2", it doesn't matter anymore. Like, you're tall. You're tall as fuck.
Well, let's settle on 6'5".
Okay, that's fine with me. Listen, you give her an extra inch, she'll take it. Don't.
Sheesh.
I said. But yeah, she's just kind of standing there, just like you said, kind of bored. And kind of as they walk in, she's like, who is it we're talking to? Hermes, right? She's like,
yes.
Oh, Hermes, it's your little cousin. I heard you were trying to put him on some missions, but I didn't think you'd do that to me.
Oh, sorry, Nithir. No, he's just, he needs to, will you take care of him? He'll be fine. He'll help. He's great.
Yeah. I mean, it'll get done.
And then
guys, it's nice to see you. He kind of gives Aristides, you get this familiar look that you've seen with Hermes at different parties and different like get-togethers where he's giving you this like help me look, like I've been standing with this woman for so long and I am actually genuinely terrified look. So he looks at you guys and says, Maury, also apologies, I know that this is kind of your Aristides has told me that this isn't the best time of day. How does time work here for you? Sorry, but this is kind of urgent, and I thought that you would want to come.
Maury takes a really, really big yawn and is just like, it's okay.
I'll be sure to repay you at some point. Okay, I'll get you guys out the door so we don't have to be in here anymore. Essentially, there is a minotaur that is through the Greek Gate at a nearby town who has been actually a paid guardian of the town for quite some time, and suddenly he's starting to run amok, and we don't know why. He started eating livestock suddenly, which normally he protected. He started doing damage to buildings, and we don't know why. It's kind of sudden, and we've heard something about he's like bleeding black ink. I don't know. This is just reports that we're getting from the humans. They're praying for a savior. You guys are it. Are you up for it?
Yeah, always.
Aristides takes a look at Kumori, who they know is deadly and very quick, and then looks up at Aether and is just like, okay. I think I can handle this.
You'll do great. I promise. If anything goes wrong, just send up a little prayer. I'm sure I'll hear you. Great. If that's it, leave, please.
One question before we,
Yes.
go on our little, is this a murder the guy, or like try and contain him, or what are you looking for here?
That is an excellent question. I like that.
Yeah, I don't do murder. I like to stay clean, no blood.
Here's the deal. I want to be super clear about what's going on here. I have no fucking clue. The humans prayed for something. I know a little bit about what's going on, and you guys go and solve it. This isn't my problem. This is your problem. So if you want to kill him, I don't care. You solve the humans' problem, you get the renown. I'm just telling you what's happening so that you can go and do it. Hey, listen. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, leave, please. Bye. And he's like,
He always says that. Bye, Uncle H.
You should get him a t-shirt.
he kind of flutters off to like an upper part of the library as you guys head out. Great, awesome. We're gonna flash back. Again, I'm ripping you guys around the space-time continuum. So sorry. But we go back to a now mono-horn minotaur who has kind of, with the momentum of going to head rush our friend Kumori here, and then the subsequent knocking of the sword on the head has now shoved a shoulder a good 6 inches deep into the dirt, kicking up dirt and ground, and is slowly getting back up from their prone position. And
I don't know.
They kind of...
Sorry, just really quick. I don't know if it matters because I don't know if I actually said it. When I did roll my damage, I got 8 damage. Just so you know. I didn't know
gotcha.
if I marked.
Thank you. Sorry.
Marked it.
I'm like, my head's everywhere.
You're fine. I know. I figured. I just like left my dice. I was like, I don't want to forget how much damage I did.
I would have.
That was
Yeah.
very kind of you.
Thank you so much.
How much damage was it?
8 total. 6 plus 2. Right?
Okay.
1d8 plus 2. Yeah. So 8.
Cool. Yeah. So as this minotaur, you kind of knocked them towards the forest, towards the edge of the forest nearby, and the minotaur is now taking their hammer and putting it on the ground and using it as a cane to start to stand up. And as they put a hand on a knee, they look forward into the forest, and out of the forest, this weird kind of sickly blue and white mist begins to crawl forward. And a beautifully clad woman steps out of the forest, looking like this.
Sheesh.
These kind of
Mommy?
soulless kind of blue eyes that are glowing, and magic kind of trailing off of her fingertips. Melano, could you give me just like one of your damage spells? I just wanna, just whatever spell will do a little bit of damage.
I did Misty. I cast Misty, or no, Mind Sliver. Mind Sliver. My bad.
Mind Sliver, got it. So, it takes 3 psychic damage, and
Let's go.
subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw it makes. Okay, good to know. Melano, if you don't mind, give me a little bit of a description of what that looks like when you cast Mind Sliver.
Okay.
Just whatever
when I
makes sense for you.
I cast Mind Sliver, my eyes like turn like milky white, like glaze over like white
Ooh.
eyes, and it's kind of like a psychic dagger of sorts into the fucking forehead of the Minotaur. And
Yeah, for sure.
Forehead.
and his eyes kind of do a little like roll
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the back of the head a little bit. Yeah,
Sure.
that's what it looks like. It's very subtle.
Gotcha.
Subtle.
It's very subtle.
Dark
Yeah,
side of the
he's kind of
forest.
down. He's kind of down on one knee with the hammer as a cane kind of to his side, and he was beginning to stand up, and he makes eye contact with you, and then his eyes for just a moment roll into the back of his head, and he slips off of his one foot and is on both knees now, and is just kind of like what is that term when someone's like I can't
Prone?
think of it. No, not prone. There's a different
On their hands and knees.
yeah, but like hands, just knees, hands up. What are we? I
Kneeling?
don't know. No, I don't
Praying?
know. It's
Crying
it's
test, oh my
similar to prone.
God.
It's a I need a thesaurus. Anyway, he is just kind of being damaged by you in a very kind of disrespectful way, I guess. He is shown. What is the fucking word? I can't think of it. Anyway, he's prone. He's prone in front of you.
Kneeling?
And it's not kneeling. It's fine. And then his eyes roll back to their original place, and as we hear that noise, we're gonna flash back one more time. That's the last time, I swear. We flash back one more time, and we see a letter with a broken wax seal on a kind of blush pink, maybe like champagne pink bedding with it has one of those canopies over it, the sheer canopy. There's these blue candles barely lighting the room, and this dark onyx door and has been opened, and we see light pouring in from this onyx hallway through the door, and we hear heels clacking further and further away. The piece has been laid bare in a once tidy room, clothes thrown about, quickly chosen between favorites and taken, and lots of wordless goodbyes, and the patter of shoes not intended for running, flowing white hair, and a determination for freedom. And we see Melano. We're not going to go into too much detail here because we'll revisit this story at another date, but we hear the pants of Melano as she climbs further and further away from her home, layer by layer. She grew tired of the gilded cage that she was raised in, and seeks to see the world above it. And after a long journey, and more than a few lost souls have been met and left, she meets a familiar friend at the gate. A very close friend. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to show this while I was saying all that. And she meets a very familiar friend at the gate. And you see, you see Cerberus. Cerberus has been an ever-present and ever-loving companion in your difficult upbringing, your lonely upbringing. And he stands there with a look you've never seen before. He is utterly still, his middle head staring directly at you. What do you do?
I'm going to kneel over, I guess, and do my best to give Big Cerberus a hug with my arms.
So you come up to, like, your head is like, you know the part where on a dog it like just begins to tilt down on the chest, like it's just starting to turn into their tummy? That's where your head kind of hits when you come up to it.
I grab like maybe a leg or try to reach for the chest.
Big poop.
And I give Cerberus a little a scritchy scritch on the side, and I'm like, it's okay, buddy. I'll be back. I have to go. You have to be a good boy without me. Tears are welling in my eyes.
Oh, you hear this really low, and you hear a as his butt kind of hits the ground, and you hear the swishing of a tail, and he lays over on his side and just kind of cuddles one of his heads, like kind of drags you a little bit, your whole body underneath his chin, and just kind of gives this like, and you feel the rumbles vibrate throughout your whole body. But you know he can't come with you, and you know it's time to go. He sits back up and steps to the side, and you see the gate to the High Realm. And what do you do? Do you step towards it?
I give Cerberus one last kiss on the leg, and I walk through the gate.
Okay. As you kiss him, and he kind of like, you know how dogs, when you're like about to leave a room and they're laying down, they kind of twist their head up at you. It's like that, but there's three of them, and and just like a slight like as the tail bounces off the ground, and you turn, look away, and look towards what hopefully will reveal a new life for you. And as you begin to step through the gate, you hear a very low and you have just enough time to turn around and see your companion, for since you can remember, is now spitting and sputtering blacky inkness out of his eyes and mouth, each of them, and his fangs create like rocks in a river, splitting the ink, and he begins to prowl towards you, the tuft of his neck raised, ready to strike. And you have just enough time to see your friend in a state you've never seen before a hand juts out from the gate, grabs you by the scruff of your neck, and pulls you through.
Shit. Why you gotta be mean to Cerberus?
Oh shit.
I'm so sorry. But we're not done yet. You wake up in a place you've never seen, Melano. There is blinding brightness around you. Everything is this white, almost golden marble, and you lay in a bed not nearly as comfortable as the one you left. And it's this kind of white, sterile environment. You see bottles of ambrosia lining the walls, and you hear murmuring down the hall of what seems to be an infirmary for gods and demigods and other celestial creatures. You've woken up in a hospital. Roll an insight check for me. Actually, roll a history check for me. Sorry.
Nice.
Beautiful.
19.
So it occurs to you pretty quickly. You had plenty of time to like read when you were at home. So you are, I wouldn't say super well, you're not like an expert on the history of the gods and things like that, but you know well enough to know that you being here would cause a ruckus, and it's likely that someone's already informed your parents that you're here. If they don't, however, the one thing that's helping you is that no one has seen you since you were born. So no one knows what you actually look like. So you have a feeling that you have just enough time that if you wanted to just get up and leave, you could probably just walk out. But you want to avoid a lot of prying eyes because, you know, they could inform your father if they even relatively know what you look like. Now, a few people do know who you look like because they've come for different parties that your father's hosted. And that would be the big three. So as long as we're avoiding those guys, you should be okay. But there is no guarantee there. So what would you like to do?
As soon as I'm like conscious now. I'm like,
yes, you are
okay,
you are
and I'm
fully
okay.
conscious. Yeah, you're fine. You no damage at all.
I'm just gonna get up and leave. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna be casual.
Yeah.
Just like a little walk down the hall and out the door.
For sure.
Low hawker walk out of the hospital.
Yeah, we're just walking the
Talk my
runway
ass
out of the
out of there.
hospital. Yeah, roll out the.
Now walk.
I'm not gonna make. I'm
Roll out
gonna
the
like avoid eye contact with people.
Yeah, for sure.
Casual.
Give me just a stealth check.
Stealth.
Hey, where the fuck are all my notes on my gods, and why are they gone? What the?
Oh my god.
Oh, I
my
haven't
God.
transferred it from my.
That shouldn't have been funny.
Oh my god.
Yet it was.
Okay, yeah, you managed to make it out of the infirmary without anyone seeming to catch you. You step out into this. This is sort of kind of is a little abstract, but this is essentially what you walk out into. It seems like you're walking on cloud, and there seems to be different Greek fashioned buildings, but there also seems to be buildings of other cultures that are all kind of mingled in this town square of sorts for all of the different districts of all of the different religions and pantheons and mythos and things like that. There is, for the purposes of this world and revisiting it if we ever want to, an infinite number of those things. As many as that do exist, there are those many things, but we are only focusing on certain ones. But you step out and it seems like you're walking on cotton candy cloud, essentially. And roll me a perception check really quick. Hey, Nithir, why do you look so fucking nervous right now? What's going on in your head?
Me?
Yeah, you were doing
Nothing.
It's just like anxious. I was like,
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I'm just listening.
Calling you out.
That's my listening face.
I just thought you had a thought. I just wanted to give
I didn't
you.
have a thought. That
No
head
thoughts
empty.
behind those eyes.
No thoughts, head empty.
A 10 is exactly what you needed, so perfect. You see a trio of people walking out of what seems to be a very large library. It's a satyr, which you've definitely read about and seen pictures of. You've seen a few lost souls of satyrs. You see a very, very tall blonde woman. She's actually not too much taller than... Wait, how tall are you? Do we remember? How tall are you, Melano?
I think I'm like maybe like 6 foot, maybe 5'11".
Yeah, okay. I think you were slightly shorter than... I think it's Aristides, and then you.
Oh
guys are
yeah,
all,
she
like,
made her.
within
She made her like my actual height. So yeah, 5'11"ish.
Yeah. So yeah, you see a woman that's like pretty, like a good head taller than you, blonde hair, and then you see this other figure who's cloaked in white and kind of moves with a kind of deadly suaveness. And you see them walking toward these huge, just absolutely massive gates that this is kind of a relative representation of. And they're heading towards a gate, and it's not towards the one that you came out of, you don't think. So this might be a good opportunity to just hightail it out of here until you can think of another thing to do. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna skip with joy and appreciation for this beautiful world that I'm in, and I'm going to approach this
so
little this little trio, and I'm just gonna say hi. What's up?
Aristides, I mean, I feel like because we've been walking anywhere, I already have a snack and or a beverage of some kind, and I'm just choked because Melanoe just showed up, and I'm like, what the fuck? Hot blondes just keep falling out of the sky today. Like,
Yeah, this
I'm like,
this
I'm
platinum
like pinching
blonde
myself every once in a
yeah.
while, and I'm like, don't question it, don't question it. And I'm just like, hello, nurse. I mean, hello, ma'am.
Oh my god.
And Corey just kind of puffs, tap it on the back of the head, like, don't mind him.
makes you spit out your raisin.
Don't mind him. Hi. How you doing?
What are you guys up to?
We're on a mission. I'm sorry, we're kind of in a rush, so.
Oh wait, I think I was actually I think I'm supposed to come with you.
Yes, I mean,
I-
absolutely. She looks like she should be coming with us.
Yeah.
I mean, my dear. And immediately I'm like offering my arm. I'm like, we're
I'm
gonna go
taking
get
it.
them.
I'm taking the arm.
Oh, I love it. Anyone that wants to roll
you
an insight
fight,
check on that,
princess?
you absolutely can.
Does anybody want what?
Yeah. I said, can you fight, princess? Because she's very obviously very like.
Well, I've got my fan, and I can do some stuff. I'm really handy when it comes to battle. Yeah. Don't fuck with me.
I think that this is a great moment for me to reiterate what I said so that everyone can hear it. Anyone can roll an insight check on anything that's being said right now. Just like if you need that for
As to
yourself.
whether or not she can fight. Oh fuck, where's my she?
Here.
Ooh. I got a 17.
Okay, yeah, I think this is not a difficult DC, if I'm being honest here. I hope that you're okay with me saying so, Melanoe. Yeah, this bitch full of shit. But she wants to come. More the merrier, right?
And I'm thrilled. I'm immediately like, yes, Ben, you can do stuff. Listen, you can do stuff. Mori is fast and sneaky, and Brunhilde
Physical
over here is
representation.
incredibly strong and has a very large sword. I think that we're going to be just fine. And when all of you have done, you know, the thing that you do where you fight the big, strong stuff, and I whip out my fucking, little bazooki from like my Final Fantasy storage space. And I'm just like, bring, like, and I will sing your praises. And I do my little jaunty, like, satyr, like, moment here. And I'm just like, this sounds wonderful. Uncle Hermes, he knew what he was doing putting together this group. I say
Hermes told me to come. I just was late.
I raised my eyebrow.
It's a trend with this group, so that checks out.
It's all right. I'm hungover too, Dollface. So we barely made it to the library on time.
Right. You know what? More the merrier. Let's go.
We best get going anyway.
Oh my god.
Yes.
As we start walking, I lean over to Nithir, and I'm just like, maybe she'll keep Ted distracted and out of trouble.
That is the goal. That's the goal.
Anyway.
Yes, Ted is very distracted.
Melanoe, how do you feel about this short satyr man like dancing around you and playing music? I'm curious.
I'm so tickled. I think it's so
Okay,
cute.
yeah.
I'm kind of
That's what I
obsessed.
Of course.
I love this character so much. Okay, so you guys start to head towards the Greek gate, and the gates are all kind of fashioned in this huge half circle. They're all kind of near each other. They all lead to different places, and then behind each gate there is a road that then like leads to each of the high realm districts. But if you go through the gate, it leads to the human realm for each of those relative districts. Now, there is one much, much, much larger gate that has no road behind it. And it is kind of these many different kind of strips of color that form this strange half-circle rainbow behind each gate. And each gate is kind of fashioned in a way that it is reminiscent of the place that you would go when you go through it. So the Greek gate is kind of fashioned more with like a column style. And it has like different vines and things growing on it, and so on and so forth. But there's one gate that is huge, much larger than the others, and it is made of black onyx columns that are not, they're more like obelisks almost, but not quite so fashioned. It almost looks like the stones grew out of the cloud themselves. And that is the gate to the underworld. However, it is no longer standing. The gate to the underworld is being kind of like busy bees and insects, these demigods of the forge and structure and construction and mathematics and things of that sort are all kind of buzzing around this structure, trying to repair it because this is a catastrophe for the infrastructure of the gods. Something has toppled the gate to the underworld, and you're not sure what, but it's quickly being repaired. Yeah. And then you guys head to the Greek gate and through it. And as we go through the Greek gate, we flash back to the four warriors that we've met here. The four. I think I'm reticent to say warriors all, but we have four different gods that have different skills. All of them probably deadly to some degree. Standing around a minotaur that is now extremely pissed off. And we'll stop there for tonight.